This is map 2, Selfless versus Splyce. King's Row. Splyce is up 1-0. They just won Numbani. What's interesting about this matchup actually is that the exact same matchup happened the day before in the upper bracket. And the exact same comps were run, I think, plus or minus the Hanzo. I don't remember if the Hanzo was ran. But Michael 3D runs this Mei, and it's like the most annoying shit in the world. And I think that Splyce has like a really hard time dealing with it in general. Like they did the first day. I think it follows through into this next day. Selfless is like known for this at this point. Like they've been doing this on King's Row. It's kind of frustrating. Like the hero is definitely good in Mei, but she like definitely has weaknesses, and I think that Splyce just has a hard time figuring out their weakness. So like that's kind of what I'll focus on in this match, is like what went wrong as opposed to like what went super right. I don't know if Sugar stays on this offensive Hanzo. I guess it's not the worst. A lot of teams are running it, but they're running it in conjunction with Roadhog, because Roadhog and Hanzo is pretty strong. But I think Zarya plus Hanzo is not that good. Okay, so they're just going to switch to Reaper. Reaper is good against Mei. I think if they know the Mei is coming and this is their counter, they're just going to go over the wall instead of through the wall. Like if they go through the window, it's safer because they won't get walled off in the choke. So I like this play. But they're going to get cut off anyway by the wall here. Shayna's Ghost gets picked. And then Clockwork empties his clip into a Zarya shield. Or was that a Zarya shield? I don't know what just happened. So they get wiped. The wall fucked up the Reinhardt, and then once the Reinhardt was out of the fight, it was kind of GG there. But now instead of like trying to go back up the stairs, which I think they should right here, just go back up the stairs, they like try to force it through the choke again. Which is okay here because he wastes the wall, but forces your hand here. You need to get a kill here if you're Splyce.
As it will buy a lot of space for his team, for Splyce to get onto that point. We can see Clockwork. Oh, he gets in there, but was that a headshot from Mei long range? Great stuff there from Michael.
I'm not sure what's going wrong for them because they have the Zarya, but I feel like the Zarya is not doing anything. But at the same time, Shane went down super early there. And now you're in, if this is like one of those positions actually, I'll talk about this I guess. Like when you win the first fight on defense, it like gives you so much confidence. Like the first fight in the game is always like the most important. The team that wins the first fight like gets a huge piece of momentum because they get their ults faster. Like Selfless has massive ult advantage right now. Pure's pretty close. He's at 80, Ninja Nick's at 50, but Dax at 75, Chili's at 100, and like Juvenile has it, Rob Wiz has it, Emong already used his, and Michael 3D has his, and like Splyce just died twice in a row, so they're just super far back. Attack Reaper, I think on this map right now is particularly good. I think you need Reaper to deal with Mei. I don't think that there's any hero in the game right now that deals with Mei better than Reaper does. But yeah.
I've seen so many King's Row defined by how much time is wasted on the very first point.
Yeah, Selfless is doing a great job.
But now they're getting a little sloppy here. Like they're not even respecting the Mei wall. Because I think they're a little flustered. Like, guys, we have to go, we have to go, we have to bait out this wall, we have to go. And like they're trying to like peek it and like try to bait the wall out, but it's not working. Like they should have just went up the stairs by now. They're just kind of wasting time here, but I guess it's not the end of the world. Here, half their team gets stuck here, and then this comes out.
Yeah, that's exactly what made me so afraid that Blizzard coming in. And you can see
I don't know if I agree with this Transcendence or that Earth Shatter. There's just a lot of ults being used here, and I think that it's a mistake. Like, actually, maybe it's not. Like, they get a few kills, but I think it was just a risky fight to be taking here.
Selfless, they've got so much to work with. Still Death Forceman and Transcendence if they really want to use it. As we can see that with Transcendence will...
Yeah, like they popped Transcendence really early on Splyce, but they popped it after they had already lost the player.
And we'll see Splyce retreat as they see that Transcendence. Smart decision, but that is yet more time killed. And Selfless might even be looking at a first point hold at this rate.
They might be, but Splyce is going to have one very good push coming up here. They do have Soundbear at the ready. They have Graviton Surge. They're going to reinforce a little bit higher, though I think Selfless will be at full strength. Here's what comes.
This is really hard to push into, though. Like, this Mei is just super hard to push into. I didn't like that Transcendence, though. I mean, Pure got a lot of ult at the end of the fight, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But I think if you have Transcendence here, you have a bigger chance to win. But maybe they wouldn't have gotten the kills and forced out Chili's Transcendence. I don't know. It's hard to comment on that, actually. I'm not really sure what the play was. But it took Sickness really long time to get that black hole up. I think if they had played a little bit more aggressive, they could have gotten it up faster. The good news is, though, that they had forced out Chili's Transcendence the last fight, so there was no way for the black hole to really fail right here. So that was just a good heads-up move from them in getting the Graviton Surge up. Why'd he not Wraith? What the hell? I don't know. Maybe he didn't have it on cooldown? I wasn't really paying attention. So I don't know what this Winston is. They're switching their comp a lot because they're like afraid of this Mei, but there's heroes to deal with her. Like, look at this. This is gonna fuck you so hard, actually. Like, this is just a... Like, Robwiz, they, like, bait this Mei. The Mei just runs at them, and then they pop the spin. But this comp right here, I don't like this comp. This comp, I think, is just game losing right here. I think if you're gonna run a comp to deal with the Mei, you should, like, get a Roadhog in there and get a Reinhardt in there. And, like, get a McCree in there. Like, I think a Roadhog, a McCree... a Reaper, and a Zarya. I don't even know if you need the Zarya so much. You might need the Zarya just for the slow. But I think Roadhog is probably one of the best heroes to deal with Mei, because like she's pretty clunky. She's like fat. You can like hook her pretty easily. She's slow, and you can like... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Like, you can break the wall with the left clicks. So I would say that if you have a Roadhog here, like Roadhog is not meta at all, because Roadhog gets boned by Zenyatta, but Zenyatta doesn't really do much in the streets here. If there's a Reinhardt shield, you can just play around the Reinhardt shield, and you can just break the Reinhardt shield even. Something like a Junkrat might not actually be that bad, or like something like a Pharah even. But I think that this comp is like really going to be hard to play into a Mei, because like Genji, if you try to dash in, you get boned, and if you jump in as Winston, you actually just die. So I don't like this comp as a reaction to the Mei. I think you'll be better off with like a Roadhog, a Pharah. Not that they're meta, but it doesn't matter if they're meta, like even a Junkrat, because like Mei is not meta. So like you have to start coming outside the box. I wouldn't say... I don't know if Bastion's like crazy out of this world, but like you need something to break the wall, and you need something to burst her down, or else she's gonna like never die. Because the only way she dies is if the Reaper gets in on her, but the odds of the Reaper getting in on her while like they have all these other heroes to back her up is like pretty rough.
Blossom, that is fantastic. Sure, he only gets a single kill there, but that's a beautiful setup. We have the Transcendence popped as well from Pyro.
I like this Transcendence pop from Selfless because it didn't cost them anything, and they traded Pure's Transcendence there too. Like, that's just a reactionary defensive Transcendence. They see Pure pop Transcendence, so they pop their own Transcendence. But now they have to like take a fight where Dak doesn't get I'm trying to say, like, they have to take a fight after Dak gets his ult up. But they don't actually have anything right now, Splyce. Like, they're ultless. Like, they should just try to take a fire here and get a kill or two, but they're trying to like back up, which is I think a mistake. Like, just go in. But Shane ults by himself. Like, I don't know why Shane ults by himself. I still don't know why they're running Winston though.
They had a play in mind there, but it all just, the timing didn't quite work out, and it seemed almost like Selfless kind of just stumbled upon.
I don't know what happened there. That was really sloppy looking. They're like flustered here. That wall like blocked them in, and then the Winston came in by himself, and then the Winston got nothing done. Like, the Lucio died. And now Selfless has their ults, so like they're in a good position. But I don't know why you run Clockwork Genji when you have like Shrugger who just like clowned on people as Genji. Bizarre. Like, this is them trying to figure out what to do, and like you can tell that they're flustered because players are playing heroes that they shouldn't be playing. Or that they're not even like known for, I guess. Pharah Mercy was Cancer? I mean, would you rather play against Pharah Mercy, or would you rather play against Mei? Imam gets in a good position here. This is a pretty good play, I think.
has a lot of liberty to do that.
Splyce wins the series, I believe.
He's gonna find the Genji. There's a free
Ooh,
frag
that's a good
there.
play by Emong, actually.
But I think he's gonna take that over a deadline.
And that slows them down so much. Like, they were relying on that Genji living. And now, like, Shrugger's trying to flank and shit. Like, they don't actually know how to break this Mei wall. So it's like, you can tell that they're kind of running out of ideas. Like, they switched to this diva now. I don't even know why the diva's good. So, like, I don't know.
We have the Transcendence there protecting McCree, going for the Deadeye, and it's looking really good right now. The Blizzard will be popped there by Michael 3D. There's madness all over the place right now. You see Michael 3D able to make a frag, and it looks like it's going to get worse right now.
So Shrugger gets a kill there on Dak, Clockwork gets a kill, then Clockwork gets Earth Shattered. Like, now that, like, they're also playing the Streets phase without a Reinhardt, and, like, if you don't have a Reinhardt, then the Earth Shatter from Juvenile is always going to be good. So, like, I don't know, I think this is just a comp thing. I honestly think that Splyce just got flustered this map, because they knew that the Mei was coming, and they still hadn't really figured out how they were supposed to deal with it. Like, you saw what just happened there, the Winston pops ult, and then he just gets frozen.
Michael 3D has played an excellent Mei over the course of the game. We have the emergency Farah coming out here.
Like, here they're like, oh shit, maybe we can try Farah. And Farah actually wouldn't have been that bad of an idea.
On top of the cart. Death Blossom comes down, doesn't get a whole lot done to start things out, and we'll see if Clockwork can be the answer.
It's like too little, too late here.
Coming out of nowhere. Coming out from
This is like such a clusterfuck of a fight.
It's a pretty interesting switch. I mean, I've seen Farah do a lot of work from this point forwards, but as we can see, as you mentioned, it's just desperation, pure desperation. I have to say,
What's crazy is actually how long this lasts.
that guy's been all over it with the Mei. You can see the strength, and now it's going to be just the clean.
Oh my god.
Frag after frag made by Selfless as they get the hole.
Genji man, or Mei man.
Another round to the game, but I gotta tell you, in terms of stats in Overwatch, anytime you have a hold that early in the map, it is usually pretty easy.
But yeah, that was a good, I mean, that was a good defense, but I think it was more Splyce just not knowing how to deal with Mei more than anything.
So, for Splyce,
I think Selfless kind of beats themselves. Oh god. What did I just do? God. Ruined.
yeah, that's going to be stronger. A graviton combo with sound barrier
Could provide a lot of money.
Ruined.
Clockwork now
More difficult at this rate.
to start deal with it right after.
Be just the defense builds up a lot of ultimates.
Okay.
You're having to worry about.
We did it.
Not only
I'm sorry guys. I'm really bad at VLC shortcuts. So like, you have to bear with me here.
the opposition's going to attack, especially if you spot out their
Every now and then I'll just hit the wrong key and it'll like close the entire VOD.
advantage. If we just play this by the book, we should be able to. I mean, this is a realistic possibility for them to make it happen from that point, but they have to make consistently better decisions.
So now they only have to get, like, this is such an easy checkpoint for Selfless. The only way they don't cap here is if they make massive mistakes. Splyce is gonna run. Why is Splyce running a Winston?
For this game, they can really take their
Like, what's the thought process on the Winston?
attack and go from there.
I feel like Zarya is just safer all the time.
As well. Something that teams don't
I don't know that there's ever a time where I would rather a Winston than a Zarya in this current meta anyway.
win the game. They can take it a little bit slower.
They might be anticipating a Genji, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think that this is the play, but we'll see.
Fight after them, because if they lose point A at all, they're very likely to lose the game. The pressure right
You
now.
kind of have to full hold if you're Splyce. I honestly wouldn't have hated a Symmetra. This is like definitely one of those times where Symmetra is on the table because you have to full hold. So like people think Symmetra's bad or whatever, or like doesn't get the job done. But I would say on this map she's probably not the worst hero. But you have success with this setup. I mean, this is a really good setup in terms of like the damage output, but it's just risky business, I guess.
Players and making it very difficult for them to back off and so on. But we have the
See how it works out.
here right now to see.
I think that they hold for. I think this match is actually really close to this map, rather, or a lot closer than I think people thought it was going to be, because of how easy of a job Selfless has. I think Selfless is waiting too long right here, though.
Right now, just
Like, what is this? Why is their whole team like sitting in a corner right now?
again, they're not really going with huge urgency.
Like, this push to me is just bad. Like, the idea behind it was bad.
Shrugger picks up the
They just like threw their entire team into a corner and they just got eaten in the corner.
Shrugger, Splyce taking the aggressive route, and I'll tell you, that's probably what they have to do now if they want to hold for another 3 minutes and not let Selfless have a success.
Like, that was just a bizarre idea.
Absolutely.
If they had just ran in, they would have had more success, I think. Like, just blindly run in. I like the Winston idea in general, though, because I guess you like can clean up people in the back when the fights are over. But I guess the only downside is that if they do get that black hole ever, then they're gonna have a generally easier time getting kills through it. What are these pushes? They're like running all this crazy shit. They're like throwing their whole team into this corner. They're like trying all these really weird set plays, and it like this is bizarre to me. Selfless. Like they had one play where they were gonna go around that right side, and then they got shit on. Then they had a play where they were gonna go all the way in the back in that corner, and then they got shit on. So now they're really far behind, and Splyce is in a really good position. The Splyce has ult advantage now, and like the heal advantage, and like everything in their favor. Dak has dropped the beat here, but Pure has Transcendence, so they can just keep taking the fight to Selfless because there's not really much to run. Ooh, that's unfortunate actually. 2 people just die. I'm not sure what happened there. I guess Juvenile Earth Shattered? And they got people? I mean, that's what happens when you don't run, yeah, I think Juvenile just hit a really big Earth Shatter, and that was what won them that fight. That was a pretty good hold for Splyce, and they didn't really commit too much, I guess, here. It's just, this is just such a hard thing to do, is hold this point with, like, I would just start pulling out Mei at this point, honestly, if I was Splyce. Like, just do it back to them, wall them off, be annoying, force them to beat it. Splyce needs to engage right now and just not let them get through this choke. Michael 3D keeps throwing out these random ass ults. Like, what was that ult gonna do? Like, ult them in the open where your team can follow up, but that wasn't gonna do anything ever. They just traded Drop the Beat for Black Hole, which I think is fine if you're Splyce. That lived forever. No, he didn't Mei. I just mean like at this point I would have done some crazy shit like ran Mei here. Like just say, okay, you guys did it to us, let's do it back. Somehow Splyce keeps winning these fights though. Rob Wiz killed Sickness early in that fight. He still has Monkey ult, which is good. Selfless is in a pretty rough spot here. Splyce can just take Q. What? That was a really big Earth Shatter actually from Shane. Ooh, Sugar goes down, that's bad. Ooh, yeah, now things are just falling apart. Sugar, that one pick on Sugar actually just opened up the map for them. So it like forces Ryan into this position, or Sickness into this position where he like kinda has to get his ult off, but that's it. I think they went a little too aggro. They like didn't wait for them to get through the choke. They tried to like fight them in the choke. Like you kind of have to like bait them in front of the bookstore, I think, and then fight them. Like you take a lot of risks by holding that choke, I think, or, like trying to hold that choke. But yeah, that was a pretty quick map, I guess. I think it really just came down to Splyce not having an idea or like having a strategy to beat the Mei on the streets. But it was a pretty close map in general.
It wasn't a bad defense, it's just their attack was so abysmal
that like Splyce's defense was actually pretty good there. Like they probably could have held, but their offense didn't go in their favor.
That was much more the Selfless I expected.
So like that was that.
As opposed to Nimbani, where I mean, I feel